Unless you're actually ready yourself and you focus on yourself, the world won't give you what you deserve. And I truly believe that.
And then you dislocated your shoulder.
Yeah.
And I feel like that transitions nicely into sort of something you've opened up about recently.
Yeah, the hypermobility. Well, I sort of knew I had it then. Pretty obvious I had it because of how flexible I was as a kid. I used to be able to put that so my elbow was flat here. I'd probably say that's one of the biggest advices I'd say to people that even want to be like a businessman or an entrepreneur or all like that. Like, you're going to lose a lot of people, but it's people that you needed to lose. I'm in the same place. It's not hard to find me. You just drive to the gym and you can see me.
For sure.
Say one of my closest boys were doing all the set of business. I'm there, but you just don't get that back, do you, with someone? They're like, oh, we never see you. I think, what, just because I'm not a pub, bro? I'd only have one check-in day a week, so I was doing like 80 odd all day, and it would take me like 7-8 hours. Stop being a victim. Life owes you nothing.
Own up to you.
Life owes no one nothing. I don't know, some people have bad hand drawn, but we're all gonna go through like parents dying. We're all gonna go through everything's coming to all of us. That's why we do boomerangs, you know, in gym. Because everyone were nicking his workouts. Certain local names that still do.
How far are you out from your next?
I might be doing one a week today.
Gas mat?
Yeah, could be gas mat. So that is just meant to be a warm up.
What's been your biggest learning curve to get to where you are today?
This us?
We're rolling.
Yeah. Straight in the mix.
Good boy. Coach for the streets.
That's the one. You know it. I didn't actually call myself that, you know.
No,
that's
where did that come from?
People just started calling me it, yeah. Because I do deal with some rough uns.
Oh, dude, I saw it on I think I was checking through like people who viewed my story and I saw Danbo coach for that. I was like, what's this?
Yeah, where's this come from?
Yeah.
It's because like I've dealt with the people that some people would avoid, you know, that are probably going to be a nightmare.
Right.
And they do end up being a nightmare. But I just managed to get through to them, do you know what I mean? It's sort of my background as well.
What was the last
bit more
podcast
rougher
you did?
and ready.
Was that like probably
I think
the last Wolves Ups one?
Yeah, how long? A year ago?
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah, so I watched the first one you did all the way through.
Oh yeah, because you weren't on the second one, were you?
I wasn't on either of them.
Oh no, you're not.
No,
this is the Matt, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is the first podcast we've done.
Yeah, nice.
But now the weirdly the last, if that Wolves Ups one was the last one that you did, that was back end of May 2024. So it's been about a year.
Perfect time.
In
fact, actually, it popped up on my memories as well, and I thought that's crazy that we're about to do one as well.
And it sounded like the one before that. I remember hearing in the second one, you said it was about 7 months prior to that, so it'll have been back end of 2023.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
I think
October time. And I reckon a lot's changed since
hell of a lot.
That one in May last year.
Yeah. A lot changed from that one to the first one.
Exactly, yeah, man. So, biggest changes, what would you say?
Yeah, everything's just constantly got bigger.
Yeah.
I'd say. In a good way, you know what I mean? I suppose it could be, obviously it's stressful, it always is with certain things, but it's just more of a beast to handle now, I'd say. But in a good way, you obviously learn as you go, don't you? You don't have a clue what's coming in the running your own business sort of world, or it's all new. Every level's new, so every time I level up, it's like, I don't have a clue what I'm doing here. It's just constantly
figuring
adapting.
It out as you go,
so I'd say more.
Do you have a plan? Like, do you have a master plan or anything like that?
I do. Yeah, like long term, but I don't have it like all.
You touched on it a little
dialed
bit
out, if you know what I mean.
First podcast, the Wolves Ups one, right in the back end, you were talking about sort of this plan of maybe like chilling out by the time you get to 40 and that sort of thing.
Plan.
Yeah,
yes.
And franchising sort of
yes.
chaining the gym and the kitchen. Is that still very much like
the
idea?
Can't really say too much yet, but the chain might be sooner than you think.
Right. Okay.
Which is why things have been a little bit more stressful. But yeah, that's part of the plan. I'm sort of going faster than I ever expected.
That's why do you think that is?
I suppose just because I hadn't stopped. Yeah, and maybe because it is all new. As I've sort of adapted faster. So, like, obviously, the last podcast, I was speaking a lot about the mental health side of things. I went through a bit of hell, but I'm glad I did now because it has benefited me in a massive way. Like, it forces you to look at yourself, doesn't it? So through that, I think just me being able to manage myself more, I can manage more. I'm very calmer now. I'm a lot calmer.
Was that like a low point around that time?
Yeah. But we're also
lowest point in sort of recent memory.
Yeah, I'd say probably lowest ever, if I'm being honest. Right. Yeah. I didn't really realise at the time, but I also think it was pressures of everything. Even though, like, I'm doing more now. I've got more pressures now.
But you've adapted to handle it.
This is sort of why I try and help a lot of people with it. It is a mindset at the end of the day. You can be calm in any situation if you want to be.
Absolutely.
It's just up to you if you want to panic about it or not panic about it or let it be worse.
It's easy to say that sometimes though, isn't it?
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because when you're in the thick of it, like I was saying to you earlier, like recently I've not been 100% myself.
Yeah.
It's like I know the advice that I would give to myself if I was looking at my situation from an external point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
But actually listening to that advice and following that advice isn't as easy as...
I probably had every answer that I needed off everyone. Yeah. But I was like, nah, you don't get it.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You're not in my position. It's like...
You're not in my head.
In the grand scheme of things, it is pretty simple, isn't it? It's just like, just calm down. Calm the nervous system down, basically. Like, you see I always see a lot of people, and I know a lot of people that like it, that you always get stuff done, regardless. It gets done, doesn't it? The job gets done.
Yeah.
But you know, when they're like, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to fly there, I've got to do it. It's like, even if you just chill the nervous system, you're still going there and doing that.
Yeah.
You're still going, but you make this big thing of like, oh, what if it done? What if it just always works out? That's sort of what I've realised. And as long as you keep going.
Do you think that's what you were doing back then?
Yeah, I was like scatty. It was too scatty. And I wasn't focusing on myself at all. I was fully neglecting myself.
What were you focusing on?
Which is everyone else. Clients, business. Which is sort of what you do have to do. If you do run your own thing. It's an hard balance. But you have to go through that, I think, to realise.
It's almost like an oxymoron, that, because like you focusing on other people, putting them first, is benefiting you in a sense of you were probably, like you're sacrificing your own mental energy, your whatever, to put your clients first, which is your business, which is you.
Of course, yeah.
But
so it does all come back round.
It does all come back round, but at the same time, like you say, if you're not focusing on yourself, then maybe your propensity to reach that burnout point.
Yeah, well, if you can't,
comes quicker.
If you're in a bad way, how can you help? Do you see what I mean? So it got to that sort of point, and then I was like, oh, I need to tackle my own shit here.
I watched this video last night.
Some people don't, do they? Some people never do.
This video I watched last night, this guy called Wayne Dyer. Never heard of him before.
No. Shout out to Wayne. Never
shout
heard of you.
Wayne, man. Give me some gems, mate. There's this really sick YouTube channel called After School.
All right,
School with a K. And it's all these like sick drawings. It's like all drawn on a white background with a pen.
Right.
And it's then like animated.
Oh, cool.
And it's all like psychedelic, and it's people like Alan Watts and obviously this guy like Wayne Dyer and whatever. Dyer. And one of the things this guy was talking about in this video was like sort of the law of attraction, in a sense of you can't give away what you don't have.
Yes.
Yourself.
Yeah, very good way to put it.
Yeah. So if you you can't give away 12 oranges if you don't have 12 oranges.
Exactly. Yeah,
you can't give away love to someone else if you don't love yourself.
100%.
And likewise, you can't help people in your profession to the best of your ability until you learn how to sort of help yourself.
Definitely. That is something I do now preach to a lot of my clients as well. Even just recently, just as like an example, I had a lad. He'll know he's watching this, so shout out to you. But he won at Doomslayers.
Right.
So obviously that's an 8 week. This one just gone. Yeah. So one of my guys. And right at the start, his missus left him. I think his job sort of made him redundant. There were a few things all at once.
Yeah.
But he was just chaos. He didn't... And I knew that when he came in, but I couldn't tell him that straight away.
Yeah.
I thought, this is sort of a you problem.
Yeah.
Which is hard to hear, isn't it? It's hard to be told that, but it was just screaming at me in my... Obviously, you can't see it yourself like I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But to me, speaking to him within like a week, and how his attitude was, I just thought, you are the problem here. But then now when he got to the end of it, we've fully washed it. He's a completely different bloke.
Did he acknowledge that?
Yeah, he acknowledged it. Yeah, so I did start chipping away at it, and I was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't react like this way, blah blah. Start focusing on yourself, because he was like, I need to find a woman, and you know like they do.
Yeah.
And when you're looking for stuff, when you're not ready, life's not going to give you it. So I said, just focus on yourself. And then now he's got to the end of it, new job, new missus just appeared out of nowhere. And I'm like, it's because look how much calmer you are and better. Until you're ready, I feel like the world won't, I know it's just a bit deep, but unless you're actually ready yourself and you focus on yourself, the world won't give you what you deserve. And I truly believe that.
Something I wrote down after watching that video that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
If your message to the universe is like, gimme this, gimme that, then it will react the same way. So like you will never feel fulfilled, because
true.
You're always asking for more. Yeah. And you're always like striving to get to this place, that place, whatever, and you never actually arrive at the destination, and you don't come to appreciate like where and the journey along the way.
The point is, you don't know what you actually want. Yeah. As well.
Yeah.
But then when you are thinking that I want more, people don't realise that it'll give you it, but it'll give you a lesson alongside it. It's like I always call it like quests or side quests or whatever, like everyone does. And like sometimes
I love that term, man.
It's so good, especially if you've been a gamer or that, you understand 100%. It. But like side quests just appear every now and again, don't they? Even if it's just like say if it's a bill or something that just comes through your door, I've got this little side quest to sort or whatever. But sometimes them side quests you think are easy, they turn into a main quest. But then the reward is always the bigger the quest, the better the reward.
Vice versa though as well. I think sometimes like you might paint something out in your mind to be the main quest, but in reality, as time goes on, you realise it was just like a side quest, a little side.
Exactly.
Thing.
Yeah. 100%.
Mate, like going back to that first podcast, it's mad thinking that like you didn't even really like know Wolfie back then. I don't even think you were sponsored at that first podcast.
No, I think if anything, that was the first proper chat I had with him.
Yeah.
Now I can't get rid of him.
Consistent. Like we'd never met at that point either.
Nah, I think we knew of each other online. Like I'd seen your brand dudes. Yeah,
likewise.
Just locally sort of vibes.
And around that time, I think you'd sort of just opened the gym, and
it was super fresh on that first one. Yeah.
But you were in that conversation. You were kind of digging it. Like the boys, Matt and Tom, were asking you sort of like your journey towards getting to where you were at that point.
Yeah.
If nobody's watched it, watch it. I'll put some links in the description and whatnot. 2 podcasts. They're both really good.
Yeah.
I think.
Very different. Even this one will be. Everyone will think, Jesus, he changes like every year.
I think it's quite cool though, because it's like it marks sort of.
Yeah, it's a bit of a journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it marks a journey, and
we'll have to do it every year.
It's a checkpoint, mate.
Yeah.
But interestingly, one thing you mentioned fairly early on in that first podcast was your sort of journey into getting into fitness and doing what you're doing today.
Yeah.
And how you went through this period where you were training and then you stopped and sort of you lost your gains. Yeah. And then you started training with James.
Yeah, that was the early, yeah.
And in that podcast you mentioned you got right into it, fucking balls to the wall, early doors, and then you dislocated your shoulder.
Yep.
And I feel like that transitions nicely into sort of something you've opened up about recently.
Yeah, the hypermobility.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually, I sort of knew I had it then, but I didn't, it was not diagnosed or anything like that.
Okay.
Pretty obvious I had it, if I'm being honest, just because of how flexible I was as a kid.
Yeah.
But I never knew.
Were you the kid
how
who
much
could
it
like
caused.
Fucking wrap your arms?
Oh yeah, I'm not blaming my dad for this, but when I was younger, like my uncles used to come around and stuff, because I can hardly do it now, but I used to be able to put that so my elbow was flat here.
Mad.
So like my arm was fully across there, and my dad would always go, "Show them what you can do with you." So I'm technically dislocating then, but I didn't realise I was always flexible. I did gymnastics, everything.
Yeah.
So because I see people do it now, and I think it's going to bite you on arse. But obviously you don't know, do you? Until then.
No. Hindsight's a wonderful.
But at that age, it doesn't hurt. And then as I got older, I started free running, parkour.
Yeah.
And obviously you're throwing yourself about or doing backflips, everything. And landed dodgy a few times, and I thought it was because of that. I thought, I'm just knocking it out, but then it just kept happening. Marsh can vouch for it, how many times we've been out and about, and I've had to pop it back in, or hospital about over 20 odd times. To the point now where I go in, I say, just bring that gas and air over there, you grab me like this, I tell them what to do. And they're like, have you been here before? I'm like, yeah, it comes out all the time. So yeah, that's something new that I went down the private route and sorted, which does link to a lot of other side effects as well.
What, like?
The anxiety side of things as well.
Is that from like a direct?
Yeah, so it is actually. So when you get a flare up, your spine goes lax as well. Okay. So every sort of joint anywhere in your body will go lax, which is like loose. Yeah. So when that happens, your spine also, because it's linked to your brain, it releases like a trigger as if it says something's wrong, if you see what I mean. Right. So it's like a uneasy. So it triggers off the anxiety. Whereas I thought I was just getting normal anxiety. I thought, yeah. Whereas like people do, I will have had normal anxiety and stuff like that, but
exacerbated.
Yeah, I didn't realise that that'd trigger, then that'd happen, and then that'd happen.
I suppose as well, potentially the general anxiety of like, what if my shoulder fucking pops out?
Yeah, that was a bit as well. Yeah. It took me a while to. It is sort of why I'm so particular about my training and other people's as well. Because you can work around nearly everything. You can work around nearly every injury if you wanted. Yeah. Unless you're fully like disabled or something like that. But it's benefited me in the long run. So like when I was first training, I'd still do stupid things that were causing damage to it. But you're just young and like slugging too much weight about, or pressing stuff behind my head, which you shouldn't do anyway, which I mentioned. And I wasn't realising, whereas now I know what my limits are.
I follow this guy online. He's called Elastoboy.
Right.
Have you ever heard of him?
No, but I'm guessing he's very flexible.
Yeah, well, he's like he's not like a contortionist or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
He's from Australia. I think he's from Sydney actually. And his like whole thing is an online coach. And his whole thing is sort of strength in length, training mobility and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But he will post videos where he's like hanging from a bar and he will rotate around so 2.5, nearly 3 times.
Like dislocating his way around.
Dislocating his way around.
Yeah.
And obviously it looks fucking sick.
Yeah.
But
it'll bite him on the ass.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon
your joints are not meant to do that?
No.
Simple as.
No.
And you've got to think, it's like, it's not you're out of the muscle world there. That's just, you're just grinding.
Grinding cartilage.
All you're doing is grinding cartilage. Yeah. So he might feel all right now, but even if it maybe hits him when he's 50s, he's going to get you.
Yeah.
Unless you work around it.
Because I see that and I'm like, that'd be so cool if I could do that. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm stressing. Well, like not stressing.
Trying to do it yourself.
Yeah. When I'm in the gym, I'm like maybe trying to warm up my shoulders a little bit before training of course. Shoulders or any sort of pushing movement. And I'm like thinking, my shoulder only moves like so far.
Yeah, which is normal.
It'd be better if it could move this far, but
yeah, it's not.
Yeah, you don't
we only have a limited range. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every time it does, the more muscle you have, the better it is for it. So I am doing the best thing about it
because you're strengthening the
and it's
areas.
Just holding it in. So when it's lax, like say if you were somebody who didn't have any muscle at all, you'd be slipping out all the time. But you've got to think you've always got that tight. So when I'm training, it's fine because weirdly, pound for pound of my size, I am strong.
I don't think that's weird, mate.
Yeah. No, but you get some people that train and they look big, but they're not strong or whichever.
Right, okay,
I actually am pretty strong. So it's the sort of head mess up. Well, like, how am I so strong? But then my joints are happening and stuff. Yeah, so it were a weird balance, but it's benefited me. I can remember when I went to... it popped out once and like they send you to a physio after like NHS, and I had like a really baggy top on and a coat, and he would just like, right, get your body out and I'm going to show you some moves of how you can build your shoulders up. And he literally just unzipped it and opened it and went, I'll just carry on what you're doing. Show my delts and he was like, just keep doing what you're doing. All that, so
like fucking Clark Kent.
Yeah, we're like, you're already doing it. Yeah,
chest.
So like, you're not really going to teach me out here, mate.
So what was like the turning point then? You say you were conscious of it from like an early like from pretty early days.
Yeah.
What was the turning point to you then saying, right, okay, this is becoming, or it's getting progressively worse, or I need some clarity, some confirmation to lead to going down the private route to getting an actual diagnosis?
It just got worse. Like the flare-ups got worse. I don't know if it was, so in that sort of period as well where my head was on its ass, I went through like the mental health sort of period, which obviously causes fatigue and that anyway, done it when you're depressed and all that. It was sort of flaring up at the same time, so I was literally crippled. So it had that so like in super pain as well as being depressed, I was just absolutely writ off.
And then because of that, you're not training, so you're not getting the mental health benefits of training.
And it spirals off. Whereas the best thing you should do is keep training through it or whatever.
It's so fucking shit that way. It feels like everything's like...
Yeah, well, like an all at once. Yeah, all at once sort of thing. So I was like... I got therapy for my head, which sorted all that. Honestly, anybody watching this, best thing you'll ever do in your life. I've even got some of my mates on it now who they don't even need therapy that much. It's not like you don't have to go through something to get therapy. It's like you work on your body, your muscles. It's just it's something else to figure out. That's all it is.
I've inquired about it in the past.
Yeah, I'd recommend it, mate.
You know, like
best thing you'll ever do.
In general, I don't think as a person I've got like any major like trauma. Like my life's been pretty good for the most. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but
there's always something to address.
Yeah, there's always something to address, and I know myself a lot better now than I did in the past. But there's still like these things that come up every now and again, and it's like, oh, that is familiar. I wish I had like a little bit of a different sort of
like understanding of it,
framework to look at it. Yeah.
Or is it more like the way you respond to things? Is that what you've?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. So I have inquired in the past, but quite badly. They never got back to me, and then I was like,
some therapist.
Something's the universe is telling me something. I'll fucking deal with it.
Yeah. Well, if you need someone, I'll put you forward.
Yeah. Who is that something you'd shout out? Like,
definitely. She's called Karen. Right. But she's actually sorted out 4 or 5 of us now.
Yeah.
So it actually passed me on her.
Okay.
His was like some family issues, and he passed it on, and then I've passed it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, every time like she gets someone new, she's like, "Oh, have you come from that bodybuilder?" Like, yeah, I should be getting commission.
Referral code, man.
I know, yeah, I should do. But that's the main reason I'm so calm now. I was calm anyway, but my problem before was responding with anger.
Right.
Even over little things. I'm not saying I'd like brave people, but like, just something. You'd let your nervous system get angry for no reason. Even just like road rage, I was just like, why? What's the point in this? And now you come out of the side of it, I'm just like, maybe they've had a bad day, or you see stuff, you break it down, and you're like, just chill out, keep the nervous system calm.
I do this thing, when I'm like, it's like when I'm not feeling 100% in my head, and I feel like a bit stressed, and I get angry, like I clench my jaw.
Yeah, I do. Like, and you don't even realise.
Yeah, and then when I've done it, I'm like, oh my God, like it's such a weird response, but it's just
it's just pure anger. That's all it is. But you don't have to be doing that, do you?
No,
you're choosing to do that.
Literally.
There's something that's making you do that, which then triggers out everything else.
So you got the therapy around the time when you were like, obviously, like you were just saying, everything was kind of.
So like leading back to what you said about the admin, I was like, right, it's time to sort all my shit out. I'm sorting everyone out. Literally, I was fixing people's medical issues, the brain, body, everything. And then I was like, hang on a minute.
What about this guy?
Why am I not doing it to myself? Whereas I thought I was, but I was just too busy, man. I was being a busy idiot, basically, and focusing on everyone else. Even close relationships, I was just giving them too much. I'm not saying like my wife and stuff, but like friends, stuff like that. I was trying to claw at stuff that were maybe naturally distancing anyway. Little things like that, or because you grow away from people, don't you, as you grow. And then just as you know, clients can be a nightmare. But in a good way. But then, like, obviously, when you're waking up to they're depressed as well as, do you know what I mean? It all starts to.
You
get an odd comment and just think, for fuck's sake.
You only have so much bandwidth, man.
Of course you do, and I've learnt that. But you can also
only imagine what your phone is like on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah.
I could even just quickly show you now, right? Watch, this is just this morning.
Yeah.
51.
Jeez, man.
That's just from when I woke up. And I've got to reply to all them today.
That's insane.
That's 51 WhatsApps,
So,
and that's a quiet day.
How many clients do you have
online?
You personally at the moment, yeah. Or online, in person, total. What are we saying?
Online's about 80 odd now. I do normally limit it. I went up to, I think it was like 105, but that was pretty mental. But it also depends who is that 105.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? If it were 105 bodybuilding competitors, that'd be chaos.
Yeah.
In a good way, because that's where my passion lies.
Yeah.
But they're like daily check-ins, talking.
Yeah,
that's when the science comes in fully. Yeah, and like
yeah.
keeping their head straight, because any little change can affect everything. Yeah. Lifestyle people a bit easier, but again, they can be a nightmare as well. So it depends. It all depends on the person. But yeah, so now I've got, but I split it up now. So before, when I was doing it, I'd only have one check-in day a week. So I was doing like 80 odd all day, and it was taking me like 7-8 hours.
How the fuck do
back.
You do that, man?
I don't know how I was doing
so
it.
Like,
when I think about it now, I'm like, what the fuck? Plus people knocking on office door while I was doing it in gym, seeing them around the gym,
mate,
signing people up, showing them how to do exercises, to the point where I'm like, bro, just stop knocking on this. But I had to run a gym as well. Do you know what I mean?
told you I've been like, it's something that I've been wanting to get into recently.
Yeah.
So at the moment I'm coaching 5 people for free, just like lifestyle, like. My sister's one of them.
Yeah. It's the best way to rack a portfolio.
4 of my closest mates.
Yeah.
Just sort
Smartest way, mate.
Lifestyle stuff.
Good.
Calories, macros.
Yeah, just getting
put a training plan in place.
Get them in the flow.
Yeah. And like I would say, I am definitely not as busy as you on a daily basis. Anyway, and for me, doing that extra 5 people on a weekly basis,
it's mad, isn't it?
It's like I'm struggling to find the time. So.
Yeah.
That to me, hearing you say you're doing 80 plus, or you were doing 80.
I'm still doing 80 odd now. I've just got a better structure of it.
Yeah. Well, that's what. How did you build that structure then? Like what?
Time frames more. So now I have a certain amount of set checking on Mondays, certain amount checking on Wednesdays, certain amount checking Fridays. So that cuts it all down.
Yeah.
So I'd say then 2 to 3 hours I can get through them.
Yeah.
If I don't get pestered.
Yeah. And
now
that's 2 to 3 hours deep work.
Oh, that's
locked
literally
in back to back.
Finish that one.
Yeah.
Send them their request.
Yeah.
But then you've sent it all, and then they all reply. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like
your
day's done, but then they might reply and say, "Oh," and they ask something about it, so you're sort of going back through. But that's so I'll do all the check-ins on my laptop, work through them because you can fire through and type, and obviously I'm recording videos.
So much easier to send like WhatsApps on.
Oh,
on
easily,
your laptop,
Once I'm on my laptop, I'll fire.
Yeah,
I'll get rid of them in probably half an hour.
Yeah,
easily
laptop,
when I get back. But I'll clear it all on my laptop. Then when they're replying, I'm just walking around, so I'm just always on the phone. And the key is to get back to them as fast as you can. Because if you I know obviously I'm letting that build up now,
fester,
but it's just time management. So like I've got staff now that do, because obviously when I was doing that before as well, I was doing like 14 hours in gym, 7 days a week.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
Sure.
Yeah, so like hardly any sleep, plus that gym renovation, I did everything. So that were all at the same time. But now I've got covered, so I don't go in till like midday. That morning, I do all my stuff at home without being bothered. It might like carry into the day, but I've got an office in gym now. I've just made space for it, and like it's all possible. And to be fair, learning off other coaches I've had, so like Christian, who I've got now as my coach, shout out to Christian, he only does online, right? And he's got like a McLaren, fucking party's loaded basically. But when I first sort of signed up with him, that was when I was quieter, when I was younger. And obviously we've come back round and we're back together. And I was seeing him, and I think, how are you handling all this and everything? Yeah. But I just started. You see the trend of how you have to plan it. Like it's sort of inevitable. You either do restructure it, or you're going to fail as a coach.
It's what's that term? Adapt or die.
Adapt or die, basically. Yeah. You've got to see. Like it comes from Seaborn as well. He says pressure is a privilege. Like you can either think, oh my God, I'm so busy, this is so hard, or you can think, this is so good that I'm busy.
I think it also highlights the inefficiencies in your schedule as well.
Oh, definitely,
the more that's on your plate.
It sort of forces you to.
Absolutely, yeah. Because then obviously you're still, amidst all that, you still have to focus on yourself with what you're doing. With your bodybuilding, your own competitions, your own training, your own diet,
100%.
Personal life, responsibilities.
And it's not just that. I've got like my finger in I've got a few little small hustles and businesses. Like, if I did write a full list, really, it's pretty mental. And people do come forward with new ideas, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And I just sort of think about it after. Sometimes I take stuff on and I think, oh my God, why have I?
Yeah.
But you just dive in and do it. That's how I see it. But it's just it's a time management thing, man. But also a personal development thing. And I do turn people down as well. So that's 80 odd that I do pass some on to a lot of my other coaches. That's helped massively.
How many other coaches you got now? Working at BoFit?
Sam, Steve, Liam, Stacey, Ben. Ben's more online, but he's still about. And then training up another one called Danila at the minute as well. So there should be another. And then there'll probably be more, especially when the chain happens.
For sure.
Which has helped. So I've dramatically cut down on one-to-ones because you're trading your time for money, aren't you? And a lot of the time, that's where it becomes a job, because you get, I can't make it today, 20 minutes before, and you think, bro, do you understand what I've got to do today? Like, that hour I could have done a lot. And then they don't, or they might come and they're not really sticking to it. So I do an odd few PTs, but they're for the serious.
How many do you do?
People. I'd say I've only got like 4 or 5 people in person now. 4 or 5
in-person
clients, and like...
And they're people you're probably invested in as
well. Oh, yeah, I'm very close. Like,
these are the people you're going to be taking to shows and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so majority are competitors, but then I've got people like Kiko. I don't know if you've seen him. Josh Curtin, he lost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Someone like him I'll have like forever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
because he's had a crazy transfer.
Yeah, and like, but the respect's there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just a boy now. We're mates. Yeah, so he won't let me down, and he proved that, so I won't let him down.
Yeah, nice.
There's certain people I'll always be there for, but you do get messed. It's like anything where when you're a service, you get messed about.
You've got to protect your energy, mate.
Of course, you have. That's sort of what I'm getting to. Like, you do have to cut a few things out. You can be a busybody, but there could just be. There's certain people, were like bringing it down or making it harder for me. I'm not saying I've like cut people off, but you just got to let it drift. Well, like if they're drifting, just let it drift.
Going back to what we were talking about earlier with. Like, you can't give away what you don't have.
Yeah.
Because so much of what you do is giving your energy to other people. Coaching, advice, emotional support, all that. You have to be very fucking selective with outside of work, the people who you let in, because you need to be getting at least something back from them.
Because I've learned, like, if I have, say... Because something can happen every now and again. Some stress can come out of nowhere, can't it? Or like family issues, anything. All can come out of nowhere. But I've learnt whenever that does happen, it knocks my work loads. Like, say if it's something big, for example, or you might even just have an argument with someone, or they've had an argument with you, and you think, oh, bro, and then they've knocked you out of that mindset. Like, I'll just take ages to reply to. I'll reply that day, but it's not my usual
it weighs
speed.
On you a bit more.
Yeah, and I'm like. I'm seeing it as a chore then, and I think, why am I? But it's just because of my mindset. So it's who you surround yourself with, and I'd probably say that's one of the biggest advices I'd say to people that even want to be like a businessman or an entrepreneur or all like that. Like, you're going to lose a lot of people, but it's people that you needed to lose.
I think I've said this before, probably on the last couple of episodes of this podcast. Like, I'm a big believer in that you are a summation of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
100%.
And, show me your friends, I'll show you your future kind of thing.
Yeah, it's right. That's right.
That's why I believe it's so important to surround yourself with the right people. And like
1,000,000%.
But it's, again, it's easy to say that, but it can be sort of difficult to actually face that, come face to face with like,
Losing people,
yeah.
Oh, that were a big thing
and choosing as well. Like,
that were
choose exactly the people that you do keep around.
100%, yeah. That were a big thing of how when I went downhill, that were part of it.
Right. Yeah.
And then I'll question myself, and like, do these people just not like me? Am I a knob? And then whereas it was just that's their path. This is my path. It just didn't link up. Like, I'm still all right with the people, but it just grows. Oh, it's like. I might have like some people I've known for all my life, and then all of a sudden I've started working so hard, so I'm busy all the time. I'm in the same place. It's not hard to find me. You just drive to the gym and you can see me.
Yeah.
I never see you. I never see. Bro,
you know where I am.
You know exactly where I am, and you know what I'm doing. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Say one of my closest boys were doing all the set of business. I'm there. Even though I'm busy, I'll be there. I'll share it. I'll come. Oh, maybe he's overworked. I'll just nip in. Say hello, just to make you. And some of my mates do, like. But you just don't get that back, do you, with someone? They're like, oh, we never see you. I think, what, just because I'm not a pub, bruv?
Yeah.
Like, well, you're in the same place, so am I, so.
Yeah, true. Something you said on one of the other podcasts, you referred to sort of destroying the studio.
I've got to drink my water, I'm hungry.
Is that right now?
I'm reverting back.
You referred to the world that I came from, or the world that I was involved in,
right? Yeah.
On one of the other podcasts.
Yeah.
Would you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, just a little rough idiot, I suppose.
Yeah.
Party, drug fueled, crime, I suppose. Bit of everything. You're just a typical lad being an idiot. And I'd probably say going out of my way to prove myself. And do you know what I mean? Like I do have like. This chair's just randomly going down. Did you see that?
Yeah, it did it to me earlier, to be fair. I don't know.
I'm short enough. You don't need to be shorter, man. Yeah, so I have like, when I've grown up, so like my uncles, my dad, they're all like sort of alpha, like images. So I've like always grown around that. It's passed down to me. I've had that sort of vibe. But I think when you've got that in you where you don't take shit, you can either turn into a bit of a bad person with it, or you can, like where I am now, where I'm very calm. If I need it, it's there.
Sort of like status and
yeah, sort of in that way. So, but I think like when you're younger and you're just doing stuff to prove yourself, aren't you? A group of lads, we were just all the same. There were too many big characters in our group.
Trying to one up each other.
Yeah. So there were no like. No one's ever in charge, but there were no one who were like, do you know what I mean? It was just a battle all the time, well, I'll outdo you. And then, like I said, now a lot of that world's chewed a lot of my mates up and spat them out. Like I just told you this morning.
Yeah.
Something bad happened this morning with some of them. So it's like, just a rougher, the people I'm hanging around with, I were looking up to the wrong people. Like when we were young, the older people we were hanging about with were just pure.
What sort of age are we talking, like, around?
I'd say like from 15 to like 20, 22, 23 or 24, something like
part
that.
Of your life.
Yeah, good chunk, yeah. And then
because you're how old now?
33.
33.
I'm actually 34 on Thursday.
Oh shit!
So comment happy birthday. By the time it comes out,
that's it.
So obviously it's a bit of time ago, but
yeah.
That's. And I know that's where a lot of demons come from in that world and stuff, and there's only so long you can abuse your body and stuff as well, isn't there? I'm not saying I were unbelievable it would go in that way, though. Do you know what I mean? It was spiralling.
You managed to sort of check.
Yeah. And I'd say, luckily, family, I've had a good upbringing, stuff like that. Luckily, that boy helped.
Like you who you surround yourself with. Was there a moment that sticks out in your mind as where you did sort of check yourself? Was there a turning point? Because I suppose some similar stories to like sort of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Some people might have seen somebody get like really hurt, or
so it shocks them to
shocks them and like shit. Like if I keep going this way, this could happen to me.
It was a bit of everything. I think I touched on it before about like wanting to help my parents. Yeah. So like they went through bankruptcy, everything. Like sort of saw my hero turn not into a hero. Like I saw him low. I can remember that. So I went through all this with therapy. To be fair, that's what like triggered me going off on one, because I was very young then. So I think I just directed it wrong.
Right.
The stress of it, and do you know what I mean? Because when I were at home, all they were doing were arguing because of obviously what was going on. And then I go out, just try and mask it, come back, repeat. Then, as I've got older, obviously my goal was to help them out, and I realised, look, it's on me, or no one else is probably going to do it. But at the same time, friends, life-threatening with that sort of world. So it's just like, well, I don't want to end up like that. I just sort of got aware to. I don't know, like, I'm not an idiot. Do you know what I mean?
Something.
I'm just not an idiot, and I just like, I know. Well, if you keep doing that, it's not going to end up well. And I've always had this burning desire of like, you just meant to do something. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
All the time, and I've always like every job I had, every rubbish job, I'd just be sat there thinking, "See, something's just not right here." I always thought it.
It's interesting you say that, right? Because
listen to the whispers. Remember, I said that last time.
Listen to the whispers.
Life always whispers to you.
Yeah.
If you ignore it, that's when you're always going to regret it. But it's telling you this is what you should be doing.
Well, when I was like 14, 15, I spoke to. It's interesting because Wolfie said something very similar, and Paul, who was my last guest,
right,
sort of on similar lines. Like, I think as men in society, I feel like more often than not, we go through this like period of fuckery. You know, like,
I think most men do.
Pushing the boat out.
Yeah.
Testing the limits, getting in a bit of trouble, seeing how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you can go one way or the other, like you've seen.
That world either swallows you up or you learn from it.
Yeah. And obviously, like, I'm not going to pretend like I was some fucking like bad
but
person,
I'm sure you've got to dabble, aren't you?
Like I was going out, probably doing a bit of like vandalism when I'm like 14, 15, stupid shit, smashing windows, throwing eggs, smoking weed in places I shouldn't be.
Of course, yeah.
Stealing dust caps off cars and shit like
that. The old classic.
That you only need 2 for your bike.
Yeah, and you're like, look at this metal one that I've got. Fucking well good.
But when I was a kid, I don't know if it was probably due to like my growing up, right? You know, like this nature versus nurture argument. Like, I think maybe because I was brought up in a fairly strict household, like a good family, that sort of in one way pushed me towards doing it.
Yeah,
because
it can
I
make people worse, can't it? Sometimes,
But also, even though I was doing it, there was this part of me in my head that was like, you shouldn't be doing it. Like, you know that you shouldn't be doing this.
Listen to the whispers. Yeah.
Something you spoke about in the first Wolf's Ups pod as well was this concept of like a bit of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I think around, because obviously that was a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
Closer to sort of your time of starting the gym.
Yeah, of it actually getting successful and stuff. Yeah.
Do you think there's another, like, do you think that is like a weird concept of imposter syndrome, what we were just talking about? You know, like you're acting in a way that is like
that you sort of knows not
that you
what
know
you should
not
be
right.
doing.
Yeah,
I'd say so. Yeah. But I'd say 99% of the population are doing that for the whole life. Nobody. But that's where it comes in of figuring yourself out.
Yeah.
No one wants to because it's easier to mask it or blame everyone else in it.
Yeah.
And say, nah, I'm not like, I'm like this because of this or that. It's like, no, you're not. That's who you are. You need to figure it out. Yeah. Whereas, especially in the game that I'm in, the majority of people you meet just need to work on self. But it's scary, isn't it, doing that?
Because you've got to face up to it.
Yeah, everyone's scared of that.
And vulnerable to like accepting.
Like you want to accept there's stuff wrong with you, or you react like this because of that, or maybe that is your fault. It's not their fault. Yeah. Like it's home for some people, and especially like a big hard bloke or whatever. They're like, nah, I'm never. And you think, bro, it's all you. It's pretty much all you. But to hear that, and if you're not ready to hear that, you're gonna take it wrong. Like.
But the second that you are sort of what we were saying, I think the second when you are open to
like help,
to
fix it,
it will present itself.
Yeah, it does,
and
straight away. Yeah. And it's very simple. As soon as it opens up, you're like, "What? This was so simple." Like, What the hell what have I been doing? Like, you've been chaos for no reason.
Literally,
we can just all be calm and get along.
Mate, I think. Like, I was gonna go into something then, but I fully
I've thrown him off.
You've thrown me off completely, mate. Yeah.
Sorry.
Nah,
we started this off pretty deep as well. We always do this, don't we?
What, like, if you could go back?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like. I think regret obviously regret does exist, but I don't personally like endorse, like that idea of regret.
Yeah,
I think
it all links to something else, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I'm not going to ask you if you regret anything from that period of your life.
Yeah.
But let's say I gave you, Danbo, now, time machine to go back to when you were in the thick of it, in that moment, when you were up to the most
just
business,
being
right?
An idiot, yeah.
What would you sort of say to yourself?
What, so if it were like me now, seeing that version of me?
Seeing that version of you, like...
I'd give him some tough love.
Yeah.
I'd be brutal with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that's what he needed. Whereas my dad was, but you don't want to hear it from your dad, do you?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously now I thank him for everything, but yeah. Can you imagine if it were like, right, I'm you from the future.
Yeah.
Fucking listen to
Yeah.
If you didn't listen to that, you'd be like, oh, right, yeah, there's something seriously wrong. But yeah, I'd just be like... But then again, I don't know, because then I wouldn't be where I am, would I?
No, that's what I mean about the regret thing.
Yeah, because, so I don't have any, because I've never done out bad. Like I've never done out to a person.
No.
More than out. It's just being an idiot.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe some of the other things, like to other people. But it's not like I've not changed anyone's life in a bad way or been nasty to people.
No.
Something I've never done. But like, there's definitely moves I could have been like, right, you shouldn't have done that one, or but then it all worked out.
Yeah.
And I think if I didn't, even just the rubbish jobs and everything that I've had, like if I didn't go through all that, I wouldn't be here now, would I?
No, that's true.
It's just one of them. You've got to go down before you go up. And I think I had to learn. You learn from you. There's no losses. It's all lessons, and I've learned that. Whereas that's probably one thing though. I had the mindset then of a victim.
Right. Like life
and again,
90%
of people still do.
Yeah.
And I hate having the conversation with people, and I think, and there's an answer for everything, but it's an escape. Well, I can't because of this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if it weren't for this, anyone can do all at any point. Like, it's just a mindset. So we're in that way of, so much bad luck all the time and this and that. It's like, I was creating all of it. So that'd be one thing I'd say, like, stop being a victim. Life owes you nothing.
Own up to you.
Life owes no one nothing. I don't know, some people have a bad hand drawn, but we're all gonna go through, like, parents dying. We're all gonna go through everything's coming to all of us. It's unavoidable. But it's how you deal with it. But some people just hold it, and they're like, well, now I can't do what else. Or if it weren't for this, oh well, my parents had no money, neither did mine. I hadn't had a penny to get here or whatever. Like, there's always an excuse, and there's always a resolution. And as soon as you realise that there's always a resolution or a way to get there, you're fine. So that's what I tell myself. I'd just say, stop moaning and being a victim.
Do you think that's why coaching exists in a weird way?
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
That account, because
it calls you up on your problems, doesn't it?
Like, you're
in a way.
Obviously it's what you do. You're a coach.
Yeah.
Like you say, you coach 80-odd
people,
whatever. You're a coach to coaches within your own
gym. Of course, yeah.
But you've got a coach.
Yeah.
As well.
I'd say every coach needs a coach.
Every coach needs a coach.
Just so you don't have to think.
So you don't have to think.
Takes it off you.
And also that accountability.
Yeah, and they're going to call you on your shit.
So when you coach me for my transformation.
Yeah.
That was my first experience.
Yeah.
Ever with having a coach, PT. And you can't hide.
No, you can't.
You can't hide. You got no excuses, man.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like,
which is scary to some people.
Yeah, it is. It fucking
But that's what it's there for, isn't
exactly.
it? Yeah.
Because you've got somebody to answer to.
Yeah.
And
like, if you fuck up, you've still got to speak to them next day, and they're going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just had a flashback to Marshy's series, his YouTube series when
he were doing it himself.
There was that day when you do a check-in video and he's filled nothing.
Oh, yeah.
That is the funniest.
Do you know how much that happens? It's so much. That happens all the time. And I'm just like,
It's happened to me already, to be fair, but not not quite as bad as that one. But like, mate, honestly, you're there like, right, bruv. Fucking nothing.
What do you expect me to do? You just guess.
Yeah.
There, I've noticed as well. They're normally the people that pepper me the most. I need this, I need that, and then I'm like, but you're not even doing it yourself.
Yeah.
It's normally them that do. If you can't just fill in a few boxes.
Something you said on that first podcast, and I'll keep going back to it, but like you
the first podcast.
Yeah.
Plugging it for views.
It's good, man. It's a fucking good listen. You said people want to be told what to do. Like, sort of. Yeah, I think you said it as a bit of a generalisation. Obviously, I'm not going to hold it to you. Not everybody falls under that category, but you were saying something along the lines of like, rather than trying to educate people and tell them this is why you need to do this and this is this and this does this, if you tell them what to do and they just follow the rules, then they will see.
They will.
Yeah.
Like the majority. So I do believe it. I do. I'll explain it to a lot of them, like why I'm doing what. If they say to me, "Can you just tell me why we're doing this?" I'll teach you and I'll tell you.
I feel like I was one of those people to an extent.
Yeah, and I like doing that because I think they're actually bothered about the knowledge here. Like they want to know. Or it can calm people down. So say even if I'm like, right, we're having a feed up today, and they're like, oh no, I'm going to get fat, or I'll explain the science behind it. I'm like, no, there's a reason why we're doing this or whatever. But the other people that it's probably going to scare them off. It's like the argument, I don't know how much you watch, but like in the bodybuilding world at the minute of the science-based lifters and then the bro science or whatever.
Jeff Nippard.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's become very relevant at the minute, I feel like.
Yeah, there's a big battle going on of... but no one wants to hear that science stuff.
Mate, like the thing is with the science stuff, I feel like
no one
there's
cares.
that much fucking...
It's not that
out
deep.
there, right?
It's not that deep.
There's that much. If you tried to follow everything to the exact tip, your perfect morning routine, when to have your first drink, when to have your first coffee, when to have your vitamins, when to do this.
Yeah.
Like if you follow everybody's advice, you'd be going around in fucking
circles you would.
For
weeks.
Yeah. Like there's no.
And that is a massive problem with coaching. Oh, I've seen this online. I'm going to try. No, bro, do what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because there's a million ways to skin a cat. They all probably work.
Yeah.
But if you do them all at once, they're not going to work.
It's like that saying, like the best diet is the one that works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Yeah. They're all a calorie deficit at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like when people are like, oh, this carnivore diet. I'm like, you've just gone no carb. That's all you're doing. That's why the weight's dropped so fast.
Yeah.
But your strength's gone down or whichever. And then there's loads of different ones. Even the way I do it with carb cycling, but that is a little bit of trickery of science.
Right, okay.
Because you can like eat more on certain days then instead of it just being training day food, rest day food, stuff like that. Which I find does balance people's lifestyle more, especially if you're someone who wants meals out. So there is science, there's loads of science behind what to do. But I'm just basically saying they don't need to know it. If I were on videos, or imagine if I was saying, oh, this is how this happens and this, and you're explaining it in detail, they'd probably just switch it off because they think you've lost me there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just said, do this, do that, and it'll work. Yeah, of course. It can be simplified, really.
Well, that's the thing about
That's why it's coach for the streets, because if I were think of some of these people, right, they might have just got out of prison or something like that, and they can hardly read or write. If I'm telling them
about
every little bit of science,
they'd
just be like, what the? Do you know what I mean? Just tell me how to lift and know what I eat. That's it. That's all some people want to know.
One thing that I was sort of trying to get across to, I don't know if I can call them clients because they're not paying, but the people I'm coaching.
They're always clients, baby.
Yeah. I was trying to say is like, something is always going to be better than nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you're
like,
for example, like my sister got to a point where she was really quite like insecure, like self-conscious about
the way she looked
and all this and that. And that moment of inertia to actually start doing something seems like such a big leap.
Yeah, it does.
But
it's not really.
But it's not.
No, it's not.
What she's been doing for the last 5 weeks is hitting at least 10k steps, doing a couple of full body workouts, and within that time she's lost like 5 kilos.
There you go.
And it's like,
which is very simple, isn't it?
It's very fucking simple.
Yeah,
but it's hard to get. Like we were saying earlier, it's hard to see that from within.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, it seems a bigger task than what you think it is.
Yeah.
Or they might put the problem with a lot of people, it's a short time frame. I want to look like this in this.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like you are making. We could probably do it, but you are going to have to suffer.
Yeah.
That's when they sort of ruin it for themselves. Everyone just wants. It's the quick fixes that make it hard.
It's something I wanted to chat about because, like, there's for example, like a particular client of yours who I know, who has done it a couple of times.
Right. What, like left, come back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost a load of weight, looked really good, and then rebounded.
I know exactly what you're on about. No names.
No names.
I tell these people as well.
Yeah.
So I tell them off about that because I'm it's dangerous. And I'm against that.
Yeah.
But again, if they want to leave, they can leave.
By all means. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do you tackle that then as a coach?
I suppose you've got to do your job with what they ask of, like, I want to get it off again. And you think, right, fair. But every time, especially with that specific person as well, I've given them something to take away. So I'll say, like, look, I know you're going and you're having a break. I get that some people they don't want to keep paying it or whatever. Like, I'm not forcing anyone to stay with me, but I'll tell them what to do while they're not with me. And I'm like, look, just make sure.
Yeah.
But they just don't. As soon as the accountability's gone, majority of them fall off. And then because it's eating habits, like they've got an issue going on, and it's binging.
See, the tricky thing with this, I think, is like that isn't your fault.
No, it's not
as a coach, right? But
if they did stay all the way through, I can fix that.
Yeah, but people on the outside, see that, okay, this guy's been working with Dan.
Of course, he's got his photos and he's got fat again.
Yeah, and then they might think, oh well, Dan's method's just a quick fix.
Of course, yeah.
And it's
I hear all that. I've heard all that.
But like, obviously,
it's on them. It's all on them,
man.
Yeah, it's all on them.
It's so tough because it's like, in a weird way, it transitions a little bit. Well, that correlates sort of to, like photographers or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? They might take X amount of pictures for a client, and then the client pays for 5 to be edited, developed, whatever. But then they ask for all like the raw pictures to be sent to them.
Yeah.
But then if the paying
they
customer,
edit them themselves.
If the paying customer's then posting those pictures, that photographer might look at those pictures and be like,
100%.
That makes my work look shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so like,
which is right. It's like it is a bit of a minefield. That's something I've learned.
I have it with podcasts.
You can't listen
as well.
I bet you do.
Like editing their own reels and stuff, and they look okay, but I know
and you think, that's linking to my brand, which
and you don't want it to reflect.
Oh, I get loads of that. Even then down the route of like steroids, stuff like that. There's some lads that might not say anything, and I'm normally getting people off stuff.
Right.
Like, I'll help them with it because I know a lot about that, but they might be like, oh, Danbo's got this guy on this, and that. I'm like, I'm not. He's done that. He's doing that, and I can't. It won't stop, or I can't stop him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just because there's all sorts of like, if somebody wants to do something, you physically can't stop them sometimes, and it's up to their body. So like, the people I notice that do yo-yo like that, the bingers, like Josh again, back to Kiko.
Yeah.
He knows he's one of them. As soon as he leaves me for a week or two, he's gone. Ed's gone. He's sweets. So he just stays with me.
Yeah.
He's even openly said, he's like, I need you for life, bro. Like, and the people like that, I think, fair then. But I will fix the binge. It gets better. I've got a couple of binging is a massive. It's one of the biggest like issues of eating disorders with people. But it's normally because of dieted wrong to the point where they need to binge, and then you're in a loop of I feel bad because I've binged, diet, binge. Just repeats the process. It's restricting yourself too much, and it's always these people that do the shortcuts.
Yeah.
Always, because they give you, and you just
like
think
that pent up frustration almost.
Yeah, because you've locked in that hard, that fast, and then
And then all of a sudden you're a free man again.
Yeah, I've done it for when you do your first couple of bodybuilding shows, everyone loses their head and binges after because you think no one's answering to me and now I don't have to step on stage, no one's going to see me. And then you binge, but you learn. No, it's all going to bite you on ass. But yeah, there's loads of that where stuff can sort of, people start talking about your brand or you've done this to so-and-so, you've done it. But at the end of the day, all I've tried to do is save them. And they just don't. Some people just don't listen. Or as soon as you think you've done it, and they're like, right, I'm off, they're just straight back to square one. And you even see it happening, but you can't then. I message a few of them, but then you also think, I've still got 80 odd other people. You're not paying me anymore. And I know it's not just about the money, but then you think, are you even taking any of this on board? Again, then it's like giving everyone else your energy for what? Do you know what I mean? And you think, I've tried to fix you, mate. I've told you everything.
Your time into somebody for 8, 10, 12 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they go off the other side of that and undo it, which can then have a negative impact on, like we were just saying, potentially your reputation as a coach. Then where's your incentive then
to do it again?
You can't follow up on all those people and like coach them for free.
Yeah, exactly, for life.
Yeah,
exactly.
To prevent that brand.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
whereas in that time frame, I've already told them everything. I've said this will fix, and this is what you do when you're not with me.
Yeah.
But they're just not. Again, probably people that need to work on themselves a bit. They haven't done it for long enough.
There's only so far you can go with helping people help themselves. Isn't there?
Whereas if I've got people that have been with me like 2-3 years, and they're just, I fix everything.
Yeah.
Every ailment they've had at the doctors that they couldn't do, every mental health issue, I've fixed everything. If you give me longer, fix everything. This leads on to like Luke McCarthy, my IROX athlete that I've got, who's obviously smashing it at the minute.
Yeah.
He won at first. So when he first came to me, this seat's going down again.
Is it?
When he first,
watching on,
Danbo
just getting short.
When Luke first came to me, he wasn't eating right at all. He had no idea. He's always been a machine, but he had no idea. There's people now that message him, what are you doing, bro? How are you doing this mileage? What are you eating and this and that? And he just replies saying, I've worked with my coach nearly like 16 months. Yeah. It took us like half a year for me to figure his body out. Testing everything.
Is that how long you've been working with Luke now?
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah. So we did it a bit behind the scenes and then like we went proper
then.
Yeah. But we tested him lighter weight, we tested him heavier weight, we tested him at a certain amount of food.
You mean like gauging his performance based on
weight?
Yeah,
and how he recovered, how he felt in general, how his digestion was. We got rid of loads of food intolerances. It just took ages, but I had to figure out that couldn't have happened in 12 weeks.
No, it's process of elimination.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So like the more I know about a person, the better. So like when people are messaging him, how do you do this or what do you eat? It's like, it's different for everyone. You'd have you got like a year to dedicate to the same coach?
Yeah.
Whereas like he listens to me, but it's not a dictatorship. I need his feedback.
Absolutely.
I need to tell what he's saying.
Yeah,
so they're the best people. Like when I work with athletes, happens with bodybuilders again. It's like it's a very common thing of they'll lose a show and they'll swap coach. Whereas that's the first show you've done with that coach, so he's trying to figure you out.
Yeah.
Whereas and then you see people that are with him about 2-3 years, they nail it every time. Quick fixes again. It's going back to that.
What does your coach say about you?
To chill out.
What's his name?
Nah, Christian. Yeah, shout out to Christian.
Christian.
He's known me from when I've come back to him. He's always been my mate. He came to my wedding and everything. Like he's always been there.
Yeah.
But he obviously coached me in like my erratic stage as well. Yeah. So when I've come back,
how long you been doing it now? Like bodybuilding.
Actually, like competing. Yeah. Probably 4th year, 5th year.
See, that's weird.
Maybe.
That's weird to me because I feel like.
Whereas I've always been a sort of bodybuilder.
Maybe it's because.
Do you know what I mean?
The only time, like, I've only known you as coach and bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've only known you in the last, let's say.
I suppose about that time
years.
anyway. Yeah.
So it's weird to me to think that is the only time that you've actually really been doing it. Do you get what I mean?
The only time I've showcased it.
Yeah,
I've always done it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I suppose I were a hobby builder, that's what people call it.
All right, okay.
Before, yeah.
I think that's what I am, mate.
Yeah, I'll take all the hobby builders, that's how we do. But like, well, I was, do you know what I mean? And I still am, I'm still learning. They say you probably need about 10 years in bodybuilding game, no matter what age you are, to see that density on your body. It's not a quick game, never will be, and that's what I love about it. I'm an idiot, me. I choose the hardest challenges in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been about that long. But I'd even say now I'm only just getting into the realm of what I imagined. Do you know what I mean?
How, like
my physique, yeah. Like, and what I always believed.
Yeah.
Because it's hard with bodybuilding. Like, it's the most humbling sport in the world. Every client I have as well that are like, let's do a show. And they're saying to me, I'm going to win this. And even back in my head, I think, I know you're probably not going to win.
You don't know what
you don't know about to walk into. Like, but anyone who gets on there, if you beat one person, your body's still better than someone else who's done the same. Like, it's hard to explain that to someone. So, like, when people are saying at Olympia level, somebody might come 15th, but he's just, say, there's 20 of them.
Yeah.
He's bet 3 of the best in the world.
Yeah.
To get to that, do you know what I mean? Not 25 or whatever, to get to that point, do you see what I mean? So, but people just want to see it win, don't they? So,
of course,
it takes a while to get to this point, whereas now I'm at the point where I think, right, actually I'm competitive now.
How far are you out from your next?
I might be doing one a week today.
Gas mat?
Yeah, could be gas mat. So that is just meant to be a warm-up, just to test the look.
This episode should be out.
Might be the same day, to be fair.
Might go out the day after the comp, potentially.
Hopefully I win and then we get a double promo. But no, I'm even that with my mindset of like, say doing that, I'm just doing it to test the look.
Yeah.
If it don't come how I want it, I don't care what you lot say, because I know my main aim is for these, which is in about 5 weeks or so.
Right, okay.
But you have to do these things, you have to put yourself out there to test it, or whichever, or how do you know? But yeah, so about a week, but it's been a good prep, man.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Best one you've done?
Yeah, it's been probably too easy.
Right, okay.
I hate to say that out loud in case I jinx it. I've had my hours here and there where I'm like, fuck, I'm absolutely bad, but
what if this is not what it's meant to be like, though?
Yeah, I think it is, because I've learned, again, years.
Trial and error.
Learned my body.
You've learned your body.
Yeah. I know what it wants, I know when it's too much.
You've been through the shit times to...
Yeah.
There's this thing as well, some people like... some people struggle to give themselves credit if they haven't suffered.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
That's crazy you said that. I was having this conversation with my wife last night.
Well, yeah.
I was like, I just don't feel like I'm hurting enough.
Yeah.
And I have been certain days. I'm not saying, if I put this feeling on someone who's never done it, they probably would be like, this is hard. But compared to what I have felt.
Yeah. It's I got that off...
it trips you out a bit.
Do you know Chris Williamson podcast?
Yeah.
So... Chris is like probably my favourite podcaster. He's going to be on this show one day as well. By the way.
Yes, we're saying it out loud now.
Basically,
you see that episode where he mentions Wakey with Mike Thurston? How mad's that?
Mate, funny story.
Supposedly Wakey's one of the roughest places.
Yeah, he's like, you go to fucking Wakefield, and I'm like, go
yeah.
But when I was watching that podcast, when he said it, I was like, fucking. As I was listening to the conversation, I was thinking, oh, it'd be mad if he said Wakefield here.
Yeah, he just did.
And then he says Wakefield.
We'll have to clip this and send him it. So this is you coming on, Chris.
Yeah, so I screenshotted that, and I was going to send it to the boys. And then about 10 minutes later, Marshy sent it, the exact screenshot.
Oh, Reem sent it to me. Yeah, Reem sent it
to me and Wolfie in
the
group chat. And I was like, mate, that's so weird. I was going to send that. But yeah, so...
Claim to fame.
That's it, yeah. Chris talks about exactly that. Like, he refers back to his time. He used to be like a club promoter.
Yeah.
Put on these club nights, and it got to the point where he was obviously like working himself to the bone.
Yeah.
But if he hadn't worked himself to the bone and the night was a complete success, he would almost like take away from the success because he'd associated the success
grind
feeling.
with like,
the grind was the
which is. I've had this, it's been a main sort of thing of this year for me, but I think it's just because of how well I'm handling everything. But I do think because I'm doing more business-wise. I'm doing more in general.
Like you said earlier, you're doing more now than ever.
And then I do sometimes sit down and think, how am I doing this? Or am I missing things here? Because I don't feel as pressured or anything. But I think a lot of people think that.
What would you credit that to? If you were to try and credit that to something? Because like you were saying, would you think the therapy's been
it's
a big
mindset,
part to play in that?
Just figuring out and avoiding them burnouts, like I said. So if you less is more sometimes. So I'm still doing more. I know that's hard to say. So I'm doing more, but there's times and slots in the day where I have my time.
Yeah.
Like I'd used to, like when you mentioned about morning routines, throw your morning routines out the window, whoever's watching this. You don't need a morning routine whatsoever. My morning routine is wake up, have a coffee, and go lay in bath. And I lay in bath for about 40 minutes.
With water in it, or
nah, just empty, freezing. I put water in it, but I take my coffee in bath.
Hot bath.
Yeah, always hot bath. Again, that does help my bones and that, so it sets my day up nice.
Yeah.
I like to start my morning chilled.
Chilled
out. Where some people are like, right, you have to get up, do this ice bath, do cardio. Why would I want to start my day like that? Not at all. I think fair do your thing, but I start my day calm because my days go late. So my morning's like my chill time.
That because of the gym opening time?
Yeah. So that's just like my life.
Locking up usually.
I'm like I'm a bit of a night owl, so I prefer it that way.
Why don't we run through like a day in the life?
Yeah,
then
fair.
Yeah, so you wake up, coffee's on.
Yeah, so wake up straight. Well, at the minute while I'm prepping, I wake up, boil kettle. Well, wake up, weigh myself.
Yeah.
Boil kettle. Straight outside to pause. And send a check-in. So I check in every single day.
Check in every day. Shit.
Then make a bit of breakfast.
Are you having instant coffee or are you?
I am actually a minute,
yeah.
But
I know you
know that I spend a lot of money on Costa. So
Yeah.
That just sort of defrosts me a little bit.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit off.
Gets the cogs.
Yeah, and then when I leave the house, that's when I get the proper tackle.
Yeah. I've had 2 Costas today.
We need them, don't we, bro?
Yeah.
I'll probably be getting one after this.
Yeah.
But I also like going through drive-through. Honestly, I know all the Costa girls now. I get free Costas all the time. They're always asking me about my day. It's just part of my day, do you know what I mean?
Nice.
So my morning will link to that, and then after I've
so you've done your posing in the
do all that, then I'll just sort of come round. My missus knows I'm not a morning person. I like quiet. I just like to be out of the way, and I like quiet and steady away. Then after I've woke up a bit, after I've had a little bath, sometimes I get a bath, the majority of the time, or I might just chill in.
Just lie down,
bedroom,
sit down,
YouTube on. It's always a podcast learning something. Even if I'm not listening, I'm always absorbing some sort of knowledge instead of series or all like that. Coffee, then I'll get a laptop out, start clearing through the messages that don't need any voice noting because I'm not fully defrosted again yet. I'm not ready to talk. Then after when I feel ready, I'll go normally do my check-ins or all the voice noting. So I clear everything so it's like a fresh. Everything's clear, fresh. Then I'll leave the house. Well, in fact, then I'll prep all the food to take my food with me. I always make it fresh every morning.
Right.
Because I enjoy that as well. It's nice to do it.
I think that's like your downtime a bit.
Well, it is. One of the lads it's a bit of therapy, I'd say.
One of the lads I'm coaching, I've put a little thing on my plan. I'll show you after this.
See
what you think to it. But I put a little like mindset notes bit on there for him to if there's anything. Because one of the things I'm sort of trying to encourage is a bit of like mindfulness as well. Because that's something that personally helped me a lot. Like
exactly.
Growing as a person.
Yeah.
And one thing one of the lads mentioned was like he enjoys cooking because it's like fully out of his head.
Yeah.
Cooking.
That's what I am rubbish at it as well. And anyone does it's a running joke of like how cavemanish I am with my food. Like food is fuel for me.
Food is sustenance.
Yeah. But like if my missus makes it, I'm like, this is the next level.
It's different.
Yeah, and she does quite a lot. Like she makes my cream of rice and stuff. She's got a knack to it. Nice. But I make majority of my stuff. But even though I'm not that amazing at it, it's just the process of even just weighing it all. It's like the organisation. And again, I'm not thinking, and I'll have like a podcast. I've always got a podcast playing if I'm at home.
What are you usually listening to?
Yeah, it's always bodybuilding related or
the learning curve.
Some sort of. In fact, I'm only listening to this back to back, like the 3 or 4 episodes we've got.
Have you listened to any yet?
Yeah.
Have you listened to the one with Wolf?
The main Wolf one I did was the Wolfie one.
Yeah.
That's sort of what give me the
all right, fair,
to show how well you've done it, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
And everybody loves Wolfie, don't they? So
he's all right.
Apart from you when you're under his feet.
Spend enough time with him, don't
I? Where were I then? What were we on about? I forgot what we were on about.
Daily routine, cooking.
Cooking, yeah.
Yeah. So you prep your food and then you're out the house.
Yeah. Then I'm out the house. Then basically I'm in. Tuesday, Thursdays I get half day, so I have the evening off.
Okay.
So like that, it's hard really because like that day goes backwards the other way. So I'm in earlier.
All right.
So not every day is the same.
No.
And I say that when you run your own business, I literally can't plan any day. Yeah. So as long as I've got that morning, as long as I have that slow morning, you can throw 15 hours of work at me. I don't care.
What time do you wake up?
At the minute on prep, I'm waking up at like fucking 5 a.m. or whatever. Really? Yeah, 6 a.m. But I'll get a nap in. So I'll get up
mid-afternoon.
Maybe even it could be like 10 o'clock in the morning. Then
I suppose you've been awake for 5 hours.
Yeah, already. I've banged loads of work out. I normally catch stuff as they come in.
Yeah.
Little hour, and then I'm in gym for like 11, half 11. So I normally take over the cover then.
Okay, yeah.
The latest I'll get in gym's usually about 12.
Will you train when you get there then?
Again, depends what happens when I walk in that door. So that's the only annoying thing in my life at the minute. Yeah, I can't say I train at this time or this time. But again, I've been making sure that's a priority as well.
Yeah.
Or I do pre-warn people. I'm like, I'm training, so don't talk to me. Not in a rude way, but I'm like, this is literally my only hour of life.
Probably the blessing and the curse of having your own gym. And
yeah, it's definitely a blessing.
Being open to the public.
Yeah.
You obviously can train in theory whenever you want.
Yeah, you just get spoke
because
to a
you're
lot.
the focal point of that place when you go and you are training. If you're in there, you're susceptible to so many distractions.
I can see why a lot of gym owners speak about this and train at other gyms.
Yeah.
But then I also think it's a bit of a silly move because you're promoting another gym in a way.
Yeah.
Especially if you're there a lot.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot.
Like if your gym ain't good enough for you to train at, then why is it good enough for me?
Yeah. Whereas even though that's not the reason, everyone's going to think that, aren't they? As soon as I see it, I think, oh, why are you not training at your own? But now the way I'll do it, I'll have a lock-in. I'll just wait until everyone's gone.
Oh, right, yeah.
Pretty much say, well, it's past close. And I'll lock door and that's me. And that's the best
More
time of day.
Than not on an evening then?
Yeah, later on. Okay. And I do seem to sleep better as soon as I've trained.
Right. What time does it close? Like 9-ish?
10. So if there's no one in at 9:30.
So you're training pretty
I can lock door.
Night, then.
A lot of time, yeah. At the minute on prep, it's obviously gone backwards a bit.
Yeah.
Or now, because I'm on prep and your routine just changes anyway, like you say. I'll go in and train when there's cover on.
Yeah.
And then I'll go home and come back again. But even then, people are coming up and asking me stuff.
Sort of like what we were saying earlier. With
time management.
With regards, like time management and also like anything is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And like, because your schedule is so susceptible to change.
Yeah, it's all over,
running your own business, multiple businesses.
Yeah.
Like, in some ways, that if you had too much structure, that would take away from other things. Yeah,
because then you'd be like, well, I can't because it don't fit into my... Yeah.
Because, like, I think, is it like Jocko Willink says, like, structure is freedom or something like that? But I think there is such a thing as having too much of that.
Definitely is.
Because
then you're sort
chained
of
to it.
Entrapped. Yeah. You're trapped into that routine, aren't you?
And that can cause more stress because then if you're like, if you live and die by this fucking structure and then you stray from it, then you can start to think, oh, that's the reason for my downfall.
Yeah, I'm not doing what I should be doing. Or
exactly. Yeah.
Whereas
I suppose that's the argument against like the morning routine thing these days.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what if you wake up and your body just needs an next shower in bed?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, man.
That's worth more than getting in an ice bath.
As long as you're getting that, as long as you're getting those training sessions in.
Yeah, like, it's getting done.
Yeah, exactly.
It's getting done regardless.
Yeah.
Like, but that's probably one thing though that does not distance myself, but like find it hard to do stuff with people. Like, say if somebody comes up to me and goes, "Look, we're having a night out in 5 weeks." Bro, I don't know what I'm doing in 5 weeks. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
I could say now. But literally that day before, even like this morning before I walked in, I was sorting gym cover. And,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, like if anything normally, someone would have to go there and do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Nah.
Today were a free day in my head, but now it's ended up.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Yeah. So that is the hard of it, where people try plan stuff with me, and I'm just like, it's easy for you to just text me probably that morning and say what you're saying today, and I'll just nip in. But yeah, you don't need, as long as you get your shit done.
Yeah, then
you don't need a structure, man.
Nah.
You need structure in some form.
Yeah.
But you don't need like, I only do this at this time, I only do that, and then we do this. It's like that Ashton Summit guy, him who runs proper fast. Obviously, I know it's a bit of a gimmick, that video.
They're like minute by minute.
Yeah, but the whole like idea behind it, I'm like, just get away with that, man.
That guy prints views like.
Yeah, he does.
Insane.
And it works. We're talking about it right now, aren't we?
Exactly.
People know what they're doing.
Exactly.
But then the public don't realise that they're doing that. I'm like, they're just playing the game well.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah. But I appreciate the hustle.
I feel like at least for me anyway, as someone from the outside, I feel like it's tricky to say how to construct this.
Get it out.
Because I'm obviously speaking from my own personal experience.
Yeah.
Testimonials are something that have been within the gym community,
of course,
as long as it's been around, pretty much. But for me,
ours
at least,
are unmatched.
I feel like you guys, you fucking brought that scene
100%
to life within
me and Marsh,
especially within fucking Wakey.
Yeah,
probably even more so in like the wider area, like local.
Definitely, yeah. Especially the level of them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the production that goes into it. Yeah. Whose idea? Like, was that? Did you always envision that being a big? Because I feel like that is a big fucking part of your business. From
it's a big bit. Yeah. So like that's if I offer one of them to someone, they're like, oh my god.
Well, that's what I.
Because I only exactly.
I was absolutely fucking buzzing.
And I won't give it to someone who sort of doesn't deserve it. But it started with my dad.
Oh yeah.
He was the first ever one. So if you think, obviously, that story is mental to be 60 odd and do that anyway.
I think it was.
It went viral, that one.
Yeah, it did, yeah. I think it might have been your dad's that I saw.
It will have been at first.
Probably the first one that I saw.
And I have to shout out my dad because that boomed everything quite a lot, to be fair. But it was sort of Marsh's idea. We both planned to film him and do something.
Yeah.
And then, Marsh was like, why don't we just start?
Marsh should take the sort of creative direction.
Yeah, that created the template. And then we just stuck with that template every time. I'd come in at the end. Always.
Yeah.
And then it's not even making it like we're not trying to make it a tearjerker or like that. The genuine stories.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So this is why I only give it to people who have sort of really turned the light. Like, it might not even be the best transformation, but in life transformation, it's worth it. Because I have some people that ask, and I think this is just like a 12-week cut, so I don't really want to. Or I'm not saying you're not worth it, but. They mean more than that, and I pay for them. I pay
exactly.
It costs me, so I don't get all out of that. Obviously, we get the views.
It's the marketing, I suppose.
Of course, we get the marketing side out of it, but it's also giving back to them a bit as well. Like, especially like the ones when they've got like the marriage clips on, or and their whole family see it. That's when because people don't like. Especially when people are dieting, normally the spouses or the family are like, when are you going to stop doing this so we can go out and do this and that? Yeah. When they see that at the end, they finally give them a bit of props, and I'm like, here you go, you deserve.
It was worth it.
It's sort of my gift back, And obviously, shout out Mars for that. He's an unbelievable wizard with what he does. I don't know how he just like captures emotion. I see these, and this is no offense to anyone else, it's like testimonials and stuff like that, but they just don't touch you, don't
hit as much.
Yeah, you just don't feel it. Maybe it's the story of it. I just don't know.
One thing about Ben that I
puts
really like,
love in it. It's weird, man. It's sick.
So again with Marsh, I hadn't known Marsh that long.
Yeah.
Probably like maybe just over a year.
Probably. Oh, fair, is that
probably,
it?
Yeah, something like that.
You've got a lot to learn. I'm not joking.
But what I do certainly like share with him is that.
Yeah, you've got a lot of similar interests.
That like artistic sort of creative.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Thing like with Ben, sort of what we were saying earlier when I was talking about the photography thing. Like Marshy doesn't post, or he could post every week on YouTube if he wanted to. Just something, could be anything. Because he's always doing something.
Yeah,
he's probably always got a camera with him. Yeah. But he chooses not to because he wants whatever goes out
to be right.
Because it's got his name on it.
100%.
Yeah, it's like that artistic kind of.
Yeah. Oh, like I can't really chip in on his of what we're doing testimonial wise. I just let him. No. Yeah, because I just think he's gonna. I've got all the confidence in the world.
That's how artistic people work best.
Yeah, 100%.
But also, like,
he does that, I do this.
The tricky thing sometimes with artistic people. I'm not saying Ben's like this because I don't think he is, but like some people who are more creative and artistic, they can be stunned by this sort of like perfectionist, like it's got to be fucking perfect to the inch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say he does have that. I have that. A lot of us have that. Yeah, which is a blessing and a curse.
Sometimes it can hinder like turnaround time on stuff and that sort of thing.
In that way.
Yeah,
and then you're like used to. Like if I were telling him, I'd be like, "No one's going to notice that."
No.
But you are obviously.
He
exactly, which is annoying. Mate, which I would.
I'm the same. Like even
like that when I did music actually.
Yeah.
You'd re-record, and he's like, "No one's even going to notice. No one's going to notice this." Yeah. But then every time you release, and you're like, "Oh, that bit there."
Mate, 100%. Like I watch back like clips that I've posted from like the podcast already. You know, like the first like the announcement video. And the way that I say one thing every time I watch it back, I'm like, oh fuck yeah. When I was editing it, I saw it and I was like, you're gonna be annoyed at that, but I was like, nah, fuck it, like I'm just gonna
banging it out.
Just gonna bang it out, and then I still watch it back. And I'm like,
you think no way.
Pains me, man.
That's one thing I have learnt recently with. Saying that I've never done it. Again, I'm mentioning Marsh. You've having a few shout outs here, Marsh.
Yeah, he has, mate. Yeah.
He always said I'm very good on camera. Again, from music days a bit, but. I just don't think about. I won't say I'll redo that, or even when I'm doing it on my stories.
Yeah,
I just film that and bang it out. And
I wish I could relate. You know,
I don't anymore. I used to. Oh, who's watched it? And I'd rewatch it, thinking, do I sound like a knobhead here? Or if you're watching some story, you threw it like that. You'd watch it, but you're not going back and rewatching it like you do yourself.
I need to fucking hear this because, like, with
no one's looking that deep.
The story that I posted yesterday for this,
I bet you were overthinking that one.
I recorded it 5 times, bro.
Yeah, but that was sound.
I know it was, but like the first take will probably sound, but like.
I have this with my coaches.
I struggle me sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't know what
a lot of people struggle with speaking to a camera. For some reason, but you're putting yourself out there, aren't you?
Yeah.
But there's nothing better you can do. This is for other coaches, anyone who's got a business, a brand. You need to put you out there. They're buying into you, and no one cares what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even if you're being controversial.
Yeah, it's not even like I struggle because I'm on camera all the.
Yeah, you are.
A lot, man.
Like, you are, and you're good at it.
And I don't struggle.
You should do it more.
I feel like it's.
Should do it more.
Yeah, I think what it is when I'm usually on camera, it's on behalf of Wolfsups or whatever.
Yeah, like someone else is filming you.
Yeah.
But
which is easier
sometimes.
When it comes to this, like, this is all me.
Yeah.
So I feel like at the moment at least, I'm still adjusting to that pressure of like being more comfortable with things not being perfect.
Yeah.
But mate, it'll happen over time, won't it?
Nah, you're smashing it with this podcast, but honestly.
Well, I've got some other
the quality of
sick guests lined up.
Sick.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
We'll have to do a fucking part 2 as well.
I know. I've plugged a few for you anyway as well. I want for you to get on.
Well,
there's some big names.
I've already been in touch with the person that we spoke about. He's coming on.
Hopefully he doesn't berate you while he's on.
I'm
just getting levered in here.
I ain't got anywhere to fucking run from.
Nah, he's a sound guy.
So, a couple of other little things before we wrap things up.
If we've got to fire them over.
BoKitchen, what's going on?
Yeah, so we've had a bit of a good and bad with that. Food business is a nightmare.
Well, in that first podcast, that was something you were like,
that?
You weren't saying it were a nightmare, but you were saying you were shocked at the time by how quick it was growing.
Oh,
how quick it was taking off.
That still happened, and it still sort of is. But then, whereas like with the gym world and the coaching, you can adapt. Because that's... No one's we haven't done food before, even though like Liam's a chef. We've still never ran a.
Yeah.
There's a lot behind it. So as it were growing, we were just like, how does it? But at the same time,
finding chefs is difficult.
Yeah,
mate, I know that from being
nightmare
in the hospitality industry. I was in the hospitality industry for like 5 years.
We got told it's the hardest. And they're like,
And
the
it's
type of people
expensive
you
as well.
Yeah, and it's like if you want a really good one, you're gonna have to pay out your.
Oh yeah.
So obviously Liam was the chef, but then he's got a family and everything. Like we needed more money going in his pocket, so I was like,
life as well.
yeah. But we had it
Takes a
all
lot of
set
time.
up. So then we got staff in. I pulled him out. I was like, right, it's time to be a coach. He said same. We filled him up, chilling, and now he's a good coach, as you can see. He says certain things now where I'm like, it makes me very proud of the knowledge that he's took on.
Smashing it, man.
Yeah,
like,
he's took a lot of knowledge on. Like when people think, oh, they only want to come to me, I'm like, no, I've taught these. They're all getting taught. Anyway, so as Liam came out then and got fully booked up, so he couldn't let them people down.
Yeah,
kitchen staff left. So it was like, we went from like rocketing to right, what we're going to do. So then it was like, Liam were in and out there at the same time. It was we had a massive argument, me and Liam, on middle of Leeds Road. Middle of Leeds Road, and all officers, it looked like we were going to break each other, because he's quite aggy, I'm quite aggy, and we just, it was a long time coming, we were too stressed. Everything were in that kitchen. Every thought, as soon as we opened his eyes in the morning, going to bed, what are we going to do here? How are we going to find someone? What's going to go on? And we just busted up with each other. And we were screaming at each other in the street. About literally 20 minutes later, we were hugging each other with mates, because that's what I love about me and Liam. We can, realness is there, and then if he wants to tell me, he's telling me. Even though technically, even when it's like the coaching side, it's my brand. Yeah. I'm not your boss. Fucking talk to me. Do you know what I mean?
Something you said in the other podcast as well. You said, I don't like looking at people working for me. I work with people.
Yeah, we're working together. It's a unit, innit?
Yeah.
You do have to step in every now and again, and not authority, but be like, look, remember, there is a brand that we're trying to do here. Yeah. Of course. But apart from that, no. So he does tell me on my shit, but yeah. So all that happened, argument, and we were just like, we need to get back to drawing board. All Jim heard it. We were literally like, wow, it were bad. And then we were like, we can't do that again, because then they see it. Do you know what I mean? And we were hiding it from everyone before then.
It needs to be done. So, well, it doesn't need to be done, but like, I bet
you have to get it out.
It felt
there.
like a release afterwards.
We felt
like
after,
it needed to be.
And then we're having a right. Like we still take mick out of each other now. Look, remember when you said this on that? We're like, did you mean that? Did you? Yeah. But yeah, so then that all, and we were like, right, we need to get his heads out of there.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, pull back. So now we're just doing orders.
Meal prep.
Yeah. So it was the
the
walk-ins that took over it. That got that busy. So then like the cafe, almost like a cafe, and the vans. We tried to do too much at once, which all works.
You were doing a lot, man.
Yeah, which all works. But then you've got to think that's only one business, plus everything else.
Yeah.
With it's a fast growth, but it's not a fast earner.
Yeah.
Even though it's earning and it's doing well, it's profiting. I don't mean that, but like for what you put in, you think surely I should be getting more out than this.
I feel like it's tricky with food because.
And it has to be right.
The more you're doing, the more you like. I suppose like with product businesses.
It's exactly the same. Yeah,
stocking it. Like, well, you stock is your ingredients. The more you're cooking, the more shit you got to buy, and you're constantly reinvesting.
And then if you don't meet, so then you buy loads. But then if the orders don't hit what you think they're going to hit, you're wasting loads. Yeah. So then there were this. You've got sort of the stock side. That's what sent us. But we were busy idiots, so we didn't have time to do it. Whereas when we've pulled out, now we do all that. The chef does the chefing. So we've pulled back to not rebuild, but just like I've said, just chill out. It'll all get sorted.
Walk before you can
Steady away. Yeah. That's so say if I went in a room and said, I've got this business here, this gym, this coaching, absolutely killing it. It's flying, making all this money. Got this kitchen doing this, taking all my attention. They'd just go do that.
Absolutely.
It'd be that simple, wouldn't it?
Well, it's like what we were saying earlier.
Seeing that.
When you're in the situation, it's easy to like.
Of course.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I was like, right, I'll earn you as much money as you want, Lee. I'll teach you to be a coach. But let's do that, and then we'll filter that into that.
Yeah.
It was just priorities wrong.
Absolutely.
And I think because it's your baby, we created together. You get straight. We were like, it's gonna go, and this like, no, it's just take a step back, chill out.
It can't go straight.
Yeah. So like we've got a lot of opportunity coming with it, loads. But we're just not stressing about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's doing its thing now, and we're like training staff slower. I think we were getting people in and overwhelming them a bit. Again, that's new to us. Never done that.
Yeah.
So yeah, trial and error, but it's all going very well. I don't want anyone to watch this and think BoKitchen is going downhill.
Mate,
yeah, we did a lot, man. We took a lot on.
Open and honest about it though, as well, man. Like, it's not gonna.
I am going to go down the route of sort of business consults and stuff soon, as well, to help people out. Yeah, because I could be here all day talking about what I've learned business wise, and now it just all makes sense. The little things are easy to fix.
When we talk about that, like chilling by 40 kind of idea, do you maybe see that one day as like you are a coach of coaching coaches?
Yeah,
potentially,
and
taking a step away
in a lot. I want to invest in a lot of companies and that.
Okay,
passive sort of thing. I'm already within a month. Can you remember me mentioning about buying the building, the gym building? So obviously I leased it when I first went in.
There's some of the buildings behind it or something like that. Some of the rooms behind it. Or
no, so it's all the building, but it's got approval to be flats.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
So it were flats before. So my sort of goal was to always, when I outgrow that, own the building, turn it into flats, rent the flats out, move to a bigger gym,
got it all in,
and so on and so on, and keep going. I'm about 3-4 weeks away from signing that paper to own the building, so that's happening. So then I'm straight into that. Then I'm not saying too much, but then there might be another building,
gym.
Yes,
potentially.
Yeah, so the chain might be happening.
Yeah, that's huge.
Can't say where and when, but yeah, everything that it's happening faster. Than what I said, but that's just because I think it's because I hadn't changed from the goal either. But yeah, so my end goal is invest. Don't flex, everybody. There's no need to flex, and just invest. You wait for yourself. There's no retirement really, is it? Unless you do a private retirement fund. But I'm not waiting till that age.
Nah,
no way, no. Like,
what's the point?
I'm always about beating the system, and I'm not waiting for the system to pay me back.
I feel like you're the type of guy though. I think because you've been doing it for such a long time.
Yeah, well, better stop.
Yeah, you might find it difficult to fucking stop.
Well, I'm not saying like at the 40s I'll stop. It's just I want to be pottering about, checking up on things then.
Yeah.
No frontline stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ring them up. How's that going on? Or whatever. Or just nip in, and you're still doing it all, but not as...
You don't have to be as hands-on.
Yeah. You've built the foundation by then, and then it's just all sort of passive. And then I can be like, oh, I want people to come to me with business ideas. That's the end goal.
Right.
And I can be like, right, let's say it up and do it.
It's pretty fucking...
And there's already a few of them alongside as well that are speaking to me.
What, like people who are already sort of like asking for advice sort of thing?
Yeah. And then I've been like, this is actually a really good idea, so I want part of it.
Yeah. Mate, it makes sense.
Because all I do is just save my money. Our lass says it all the time. She's like, why do you just spend money? I said, I'll buy her something, but I don't like buying myself out. A car, like I'm due a new car soon and stuff, but I'm in the car a lot, so I don't even really see that as a treat. It's just like an investment. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like cars are the last place I'd be spending my money.
Is it? Yeah, fair.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, not to say that.
That's the one thing I do love. That it does give me joy. A car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had the Range. Did you get rid of it?
Got rid of that. Yeah, and then I'm waiting.
Because you're in the van bar right
to
now.
Get a stupid van. I've gone from Ranger to rolling windows, and when you're on prep, that is very annoying.
Oh,
it's
really?
Just extra energy, and you think, my god! But it's only temporary while I just get this next car. Yeah, but because of all the stuff that I'm getting approved for, like we're building and that, I don't want to get anything else in my name. So I'm waiting. Okay, I'm being smart and patient, basically. And then I want a sick car. But that's the only thing I spend money on. Otherwise, it comes in my bank, there's saving pots.
Nice.
There's a pot for this, pot for that, pot for this. I actually have one now that says investments.
Right, okay, so you're already squirreling.
Yeah, so I can be like, right, I'll give you this for that. This is what I want back.
Would you sort of keep that within the fitness industry, do you think? Or just anything?
Yeah, just anything.
Record
I don't know if I want to say it out, any of my ideas, but... Maybe. Yeah, you'd be surprised what things I do want to do to make money. That very far from fitness, some of it.
You'll have to tell me after this.
Yeah, I'll tell you after, yeah.
Sorry, people.
I can't have you all nicking my ideas. Everything I post gets nicked half the time, so... That's why we do boomerangs, in gym. Instead of filming workouts.
Right.
Because everyone were nicking his workouts.
Shit.
Certain local names that still do, and they've built brands off it, but... yeah, people were just copying everything we did. So I was like, right, let's not. That's the hard balance now. People tell me to put knowledge online, and I want to, but then I think him or her is just going to go and just say it as if it's their knowledge, and I've give it out for free. I find it hard to balance that. And I'm not saying I see anyone's competition, but I think, no, go learn it yourself. You can't just repeat what I'm saying or copy what passion, obviously, is going to take over that front, innit? You can only fake it for so long, but yeah, worry about what to put out online, because I don't copy anyone else, but everybody copies each other, don't they? And it is a bit worrying. So that's why we do boomerangs. So I don't show any of the workouts. No, nothing.
That's
I don't.
Interesting.
So technically, unless you PT with us, you don't have a clue what we do. So they can like talk about it all they want, unless they've been in.
That a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell all my coaches the same.
Yeah.
If they come down, they get the experience, and they're going to tell everyone about it anyway. Whereas I don't think that side of things needs selling. Whereas it can be easily nicked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people put the full days on of everything. And, well, you are, like you said, when people go on and they're copying dieting ideas, all people are doing is just copying and relaying information.
Yeah.
And when it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah.
And you say it, there's a lot of copying goes on. Literally copy and paste sometimes, and you think, out the cheek, how do you dare do that?
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's true.
Business is business, isn't it? It's rough.
I think
So I try and cut it out a bit, but yeah.
It says more about them. Like
of course
the lack of creativity, and
it's a compliment in a way.
It is a compliment, but I do understand what you say. Like I mean, like when you messaged me about doing coaching, and you were like, don't be using my plans.
Yeah. Let's keep track of him. I was only joking as well, but not at the same time. Being
perfectly honest though, that was like my
on your mind
my biggest hold-ups about doing it was that I didn't want it to look like I'd just be fucking ripping your stuff off.
Yeah.
But I completely
is so
understand
common,
that.
you know.
Yeah, I completely get that.
Yeah, it's so common. There's people getting coached out there now off my plans, off someone else.
I wouldn't be able to maintain my fucking dignity if I knew that I would just rip your stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's only so long that can go.
Some people don't have that same moral compass.
No, they don't.
So
if they're only in it short term, it's going to work, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
But again, it's not a one. They can copy it for a bit. It's going to die off, innit? Because it's not a. The knowledge will end eventually. Yeah,
like you have the long-term blueprint for that
and it's a
style of coaching.
Me as a person, I suppose, as well, innit? If you know what I mean. It depends who you are.
Of course, mate.
But that goes on with all of it. It's very annoying when you hear it happen.
I bet.
And I have learned to bite my tongue a little bit, unless they're to the point where it's full like copyright.
Full on
still fucking name on it and everything. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I've seen it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I've seen it. And I'll friendly message a few. I'll just say, look, if you're gonna do it, mate, don't. But then they've shot themselves in foot because they're never going to be part of my. I won't coach them again. Because I think, well, I know what you're doing it for.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah. So it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
So to wrap things up.
If you want to spit bars again.
Yeah. We haven't even spoke about the music, but I feel like you touched on that quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be another part 2, 3, 4.
I mean, you did post the bars like.
I did one recently. Yeah, actually.
That was sick. Actually.
A lot have been from being requested. I still think about because I just do it in car every now and again. It just comes out. It's like a Tourette's for me. Even in house, it just comes out. I'll make a bar about the kettle or something.
It's a good skill to have. Because you can just party trick like.
But. Yeah, I suppose it's what led me here, isn't it? It's what built the
like you said.
The following.
You said that. Yeah, it built the following.
And so it might pop back out.
Right.
But we're not getting any younger.
Plans.
I'll do that 40 instead. I'll come back and be 40-odd-year-old MC.
So the question that I've asked everyone so far.
Yeah, man.
At the end of the episode, what's been your biggest learning curve to get to where you are today? Best believe I'm clipping that sigh and putting it in the fucking intro sequence right there.
That's the tone we're setting.
That's why I asked that question, man.
It's very deep. Yeah. So what's the biggest learning curve of my life, would you say? Or just...
Yeah. To get,
pressure. Yeah. Putting myself under pressure. Forcing myself to learn, I say. So... Yeah,
how to deal with pressure? Would you say?
Yeah. But also being under enough pressure to force myself to deal with myself, which has been a learning curve to then tackle myself. So more in general, myself. The biggest learning curve has been myself, and I think it is for everyone. But like, it's a never-ending learning curve, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's hard to pinpoint.
That's the thing, isn't it? You're always
learning. It's a very hard question to sort of finish. But the main learning curve is me, and I've learned now it's all just one journey of me, and I need to figure out me more. Even though now I've figured myself out and I know myself, I could be different next week. Something else could happen that I could be different. It's a constant learning curve, so we're keeping it running. But yeah, myself is the biggest learning curve, putting myself under pressure. But pressure is a privilege, so always remember that, and I've learned that. So pressure biggest learning curve is like a round off. Pressure can either destroy who you are, or you can learn to adapt to it and become whatever you want to be, really. Because if you can handle pressure, you can handle everything. If you can handle stress, you can handle everything.
No greater pressure than that which you put yourself under.
Yeah. And there's definitely no greater pressure than successful pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas even the bad pressure leads you to successful pressure. So if you can just handle pressure, so basically swamp yourself full of jobs and just learn how to deal with it.
Swamp yourself till you need therapy.
Absolutely lose plot. Do about 17 hours a day, 100 odd clients.
Well, I feel like
10 businesses, and then you'll be all right.
You can see just from watching, going through that sort of little log of podcasts.
The episodes,
from,
yeah.
You can see how you've changed over that time period as well, and
a few more wrinkles as well.
And hopefully people who've been watching, listening, have been able to take something away from it. So
yeah, definitely. I'd like to say that and sign off on that. Shout out to. It surprises me how many people sort of follow my journey, and I'm not saying that in a big-headed way. That's a bit imposter syndrome. So, shout out to everybody that keeps me, because you help me keep me going as well. I sort of do it for you. I lead from the front for you guys. So if I can help one person,
fuck it.
Let's just fuck it. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Well, more likely than not, people will have probably found you through your stuff. But if they haven't, if they found you through this podcast, where can they get you?
Danbo Rambo on Instagram, BoFit Fam Instagram, BoFit Facebook, Danbo Ramsden on Facebook. I do have a YouTube and all, but another job I ain't got time for. I'll leave it to these boys to just record me.
Last thing I was going to ask.
Yeah?
I've heard whispers of a Bo pod.
Kind of, yeah. Well, we're doing like when you see the reels?
Yeah.
The segments.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that to sort of showcase the personality of my team a bit more.
Okay, yeah.
Because like you mentioned before, a lot of them don't film themselves.
Right.
Even though I'm telling them to, and they're like, I just overthink it. And I'm like, just put it out there. You're going to have to start doing it. So
in sort of like a podcast,
I'm sort of dragging them into it, and I'm like, I'll just showcase it, and then that's your way in.
Yeah.
Plus,
for sure.
This is something like my wife said as well, and a few others are like, unless you're being coached by me, I don't think people realise the knowledge that I give. So I want to give a bit of that out, but then it's the catch-22. We're giving out the knowledge, but that is coming, So we're just going to be doing more. I've converted a room in gym to like a little bit of a media room. It's still getting there, but just steady away. Even just to film little clips for myself.
Nice, man.
There's also a sofa in there for a nap. But yeah, so all that's coming. Again, I've always got like media plans.
Yeah, of course.
I'm very calculated, even though it's organised chaos.
It's an uphill battle.
I'm very calculated.
Content side of things.
Definitely, it's a full-time job in itself, man.
It is, mate. Right.
But yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.
You too.
Part 2.
Another one done.
Got to be done at some point.
Shout out everybody.